Hey guys, Abner, Miranda here. Welcome out to the range. Today I wanted to do a video for you to show you the reason why Tier 1 Citizen slings are so simple in their construction. People have asked me why I don't add emergency release buckles and other items to the sling, and it's because it really doesn't need it. The single point sling does, because the single point sling has you completely coiled up inside that sling. You're in the sling on a single point, but on a 2-point sling, you really don't need an emergency release buckle. And you know, I could stand here and show this to you, but frankly, well, I'm sorry, I could stand here and tell you that, but frankly, I'd rather take you up on the overland course and show you why you really don't need those things. Come on. As I trudge up this hill, you guys really don't pick up on camera just how steep this hill is. Hang on a minute. Remember, it's one thing to run sprints, pound out push-ups, shoot, done. And I kid you not, guys, I've done this a bunch of times with people, and I see just a whole lot of, and it's like, woosah, papi, just bring the gun up to your shoulder, find your shot, and take your shot. Don't overthink it, just do it. That is the simplicity that I've stitched, hand-stitched into your sling. The Tier 1 Citizen sling, whether it be the 2-point or the single point, is very simple for a reason. I don't want you overthinking this stuff. I want you wearing the gun, not thinking about the gun, storing the gun if you need to store the gun, transitioning to your handgun if you need to transition to your handgun, but I want you working the gun instead of working the sling. Let's keep moving. Fairly certain those are hits, but let's set them again just to be sure. Alright, let's go check it out. Yep. Sorry you guys aren't getting to see the target as I'm hitting it, but the point of skill drills like this is to actually get shots through very thick foliage. I was shooting from way over there past those through those bushes over to here, so you know, that's the point of the overland course, is to work your skills, work your equipment, in this case the rifle and the sling in combination, and learn as much as possible in the process. You guys know this area. I've actually moved the targets that are down here. I moved them. The one on the right is still in the same place, but the left one has now been moved because they had gotten so ridiculous trying to track it deep in the woods that guys just weren't getting it. And I don't want to blow through your ammunition. I want you to have learning moments doing this instead of frustration moments. For this one, I basically have the student work each target from an angle. So in other words, I've got one target out there, and I've got another one out there. Why would I expose myself to both at the same time when I can expose myself to one at a time? This is where you run your arm up into the sling, push into the tree, into the bark, and I trap it. And now I'm able to drive. I'm not even holding the gun and now it's stable. I'm able to drive into the gun, being aware of my suppressor, because the suppressor is the barrel and I don't want to impart movement on that barrel and throw my shot off. So now I'm cantilevering hard against the sling that I'm trapping against the tree bark. My thumb passes to the left side of the gun because I'm a lefty. Safety is swept off, and I roll around the tree, and there he is. Two hits. Now, to get the next guy, I just let off on the sling a little bit, slide along the tree, find the next guy, right over the top. Come on. Nope, not hitting the tree. There it is. The red dot at this distance is, yeah, it's an auto mode. So the red dot at this distance is adjusting. Trijicon is tried, but honestly the self-adjusting dot on these RMRs is still not quite with it because there's still a little bit of blooming. I'm in subdued light and I've still got a little bit of blooming, but I keep it because when I pick this rifle up in darkness, it totally is dimmed down, so that's a good thing. As I've mentioned before, as you walk along this alleyway, the targets are that direction and that direction. So I can actually work them from entirely new, different areas. In fact, I can even have the student walk over to this side of the alleyway and actually shoot across the roadway if need be. But what we'll now do is we'll just move a little further up, and now we'll find a thinner tree to work off of. Something that requires a little more sling dexterity. We'll work off this one over here. All right, don't know if the camera's gonna get it, but we're gonna try. The first thing I do, all right, I've got a decent amount of visual cover because of these trees. I'm also wearing camo. So if someone were looking for me shooting a suppressed weapon and making an effort at camouflage, they're gonna have difficulty finding me. Once again, sling gets pressed against the tree and trapped with my hand against the tree. And I find my shot, which is, holy crap, I've got to thread it. This is gonna be interesting. Now, you know what? Honestly, that's not gonna happen. As you guys have heard me say, I treat these shots as if these are people that I'm trying to miss. This was so much easier with an ACOG. Oop, off to the right. There we go. Keeper. Shoot and scoot. Out of the dark into the light. All right, all right, all right. All right, we're roughly at 300 yards here. All I'm doing is pushing out against the bungee cord. I'm staying completely in the sling. I'll turn my optic down because that target is out there. Beautiful. Come on now, honey. Darling, you are not instilling confidence in me today. That's it. Yep, that was too low. That was too low because I've been spoiled by my ACOG. And this is an RMR with a 3.25 MOA dot. Yeah. Alright guys, I'm going to show you something. The other reason why you want to stay in your sling if possible. If you've got to get off the ground expeditiously, the fastest way to do it is release the gun to the dirt, get off the ground, and like literally leave the gun hanging and move. Whew, that's out there. Beautiful. Shot her off the tree. So far, every shot taken has only required bringing the gun up to my shoulder, pushing out against the shot cord sewn into the sling, taking the shot, and then returning the weapon back to my body and then just moving on. That's why I do not like slings that have slider buckles in them. Just one extra thing to think about when you've got to take a shot. Oh, and by the way, here's the other thing. When you want to take a shot, let's say you have to transition to your off shoulder. In fact, there's a target down there. So I'm in the sling for left side. All I've got to do is take my right arm, grab the gun, pass it over, back in. And guys, it's seamless. Don't overthink this, guys. You do not need sliders. The sling gives you everything you need to maneuver in it, to store the gun. It's all part of the sling. No adjustment necessary on the fly. Once you've got the tension set where you want it from the get-go, dude, you're done. You're done. I know that the trend when it comes to all things tactical is more is better. But I got news for you. More is seldom better. And quite often, more is just more. You take something that should be seemingly simple, like a sling, and you add a whole bunch of Gucci to it, and before you know it, that item has become so difficult to work with that you find yourself going, chuck it. I'll just either do without it or try to work through it. Neither of which work. Now, we've all seen sling setups that are so bad that the second that bullets start flying, the operator completely comes out of the sling and the sling is left dangling on the rifle while the operator's shooting. Well, I got news for you. Do enough training and the next thing you'll see is the instructor screw with that operator and say, transition, transition! And the guy goes to transition to his sidearm, forgets that he got out of his sling, and he literally opens his hands because he's accustomed to releasing the weapon to the sling, and the rifle hits the dirt. I've seen it. Guys, simple is best. That's why I designed the Tier 1 Citizen single point and 2-point slings the way I have, because I want to give you guys the least amount of moving parts, as it were, to have to think about. I stay in the sling, and all I do here is I place the weapon on my hand, take my shooting hand, go from this side to this side, shoot the safety off, and once again, oh, and I forgot to tell you this part, shelf the weapon into the open hand, and the elbow goes against the chest rig. So basically I'm doing what the Olympic shooters do, where they jut out a hip and they do this. Looks goofy, but it works. I think I am over. Yeah, I was over. This is a rifle that I don't shoot often enough, because this is actually my home defense gun. So it's basically a 15-20 foot gun, but it is zeroed 400 yards it is zeroed at 100 yards for hundreds of yards worth of shooting. Yeah, and that you get that figure 8 effect of your heartbeat, and if you catch it wrong, it goes, you actually hear it go right past the target. The whole time I've been doing this, guys, I've been able to stay in the sling. The only time I didn't stay in the sling is when I had to do this to go to the offside. And that's it. Everything else has remained in the sling. Simple is best. Come on. This time you guys should be able to see that. At the base of that tree down there, at roughly 100, is the same target I've been shooting, the roughly 6x10 target from Challenge Targets. I'm amazed I hit that. I'm not kidding, guys. I'm amazed I hit that. From here, with all the wobbling going on, let's get all scrunched up in that sling, create a little tension. Shut up! Honey hush. I love it. Now you notice, I didn't have to make any room. All I did was grab the sling, because the shot cord gives me all the room I need. Oh, that is a thing of beauty. Simple is best. Come on. I know right now someone's getting all angry with me because I'm like crushing your world. Like, but I thought I had to have, yeah, well, remember, the people that tell you that you have to have this, that, and the other, aren't actually giving you the full picture. And keep this in mind, those of you who enjoy sending me links to so-and-so sling that's just like mine, go ahead and put their sling in the shopping cart and watch what happens. A bunch of extra stuff gets tacked onto it, or even in some cases, the sling doesn't even come with QDs. So, some of you don't realize what you're looking at. When you buy a Tier 1 Citizen single or 2-point sling, the single point sling, the QD is sewn into the sling. The 2-point sling, the QDs are also part of the package. If you don't want it, that's fine. It's $89 flat, meaning that's what you're paying out the door. If you want it with 2 QDs, it's $99 flat out the door. Not shipping, no extra fees, $99 flat out the door. Guys, I hate to have to be this brutal, but people are throwing stuff in my face. You don't understand. People in this industry know that we buy by price point, not by quality, not by performance. Well, guess what? My slings have the price point out the door. Their slings have the draw you in price point, and then it's a bait and switch when you put it in the shopping cart. Extra fees get tacked on. Some websites I've been to actually will tack on a 3.25% credit card fee. How else are you supposed to pay for this thing but with a credit card? Seriously? Damn. Now listen guys, just so you know, technically the Overland course ends here because it's all up inside of that area and just over the ridge that way. Several acres, it's a huge course. If you're feeling froggy, we turn around and we head right back in by starting on this gong and heading back. So when you guys come out to train for the Overland course, this is what you get to do. You can either do it one way, which will take you roughly an hour, and you can turn around and do it right back the other way again. Guys, this is a fun course. We're back where we started and it's raining. What a fitting end, right? Guys, I say this to you, I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. If you're not setting your stuff up as simply as possible, you're doing yourself a disservice. Feature-rich products are what sells in this industry. And the notion that more is better has been propagated for far too long. And people need to understand that more isn't always best. More is just, most often, frankly, is just more. That's born out of experience for me. I've had a lot of stuff that had a lot of Gucci on it, and I was like, man, that's really cool. But then I started working with it and realized that it didn't work. So I say to you, simple is best. And also, be fully aware of what the price point is that you're looking at. Because that price point that pulls you in may be one price point. And when you put that item in the shopping cart, extra prices get dropped on top of it. Taxes, potentially fees, definitely shipping. Unless they're trying to pull you in and say free shipping. Well, Tier 1 Citizen slings are always free shipping. All right guys, that's what I've got for you today. As always, I thank you guys for watching. God bless you all. Get those guns on practice. Have a good one. You know what? Let's try that shot with a handgun. That's roughly 80 yards. Beautiful. Have a good one, guys.